Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided specifying that this meeting would be held on this date in the Municipal Building Council Chambers, 2nd floor, 55 River Road, Edgewater, New Jersey. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Record and the Jersey Journal and posted in the lobby of the Borough Hall as required by law. Councilman Monty, will you lead us in the salute to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a conference, and at this time I would like to invite Peter Lakatos up. He represents Terms Environmental, and he's here to discuss the ball field. Peter? Sure. Peter, at our last meeting we had a few concerned residents in regards to relocating or moving of soil at Veterans Field. If you could give us an update as far as to where we are in regards to hotspots or what's going on with the field as far as, you know, soil coming in and testing that.
The project began with the ball field, I guess, towards the north side of the park, and drainage was put in. Filter fabric was put down. It was lifted 2 feet with clean fill, and it is now covered with crushed stone. Areas actually on the part that borders River Road, that's going to get an additional lift of approximately 3 to 4 feet. So those drainage pipes were actually laid on existing grade. The pipes are laid on filter fabric and clean fill. Approximately 8,000 to 10,000 tons, 400 to 500 truckloads of clean fill was imported from Route 3 Clifton project they're doing, widening the road. That material was tested and found to be clean by New Jersey state standards. That is, if anybody rides by the park, the reddish silt and clay material that's sitting in the center of the large field area. Last Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, what has been called the hot spots, where contaminated material that existed, PCBs, hydrocarbons, and 2 smaller areas that contain metals, vanadium and nickel, were remediated. 26 truckloads of this contaminated soil was taken down to South Jersey and properly disposed of at a facility. Those excavations were about approximately 2.5 feet deep for the PCB areas and the metal areas. The hydrocarbon area was actually extended down about 9 to 10 feet. It was visually remediated. The material that we were cleaning up was a viscous material, and I would try to say that it was more like a mastic or a glue that was there. It visually cleaned up. We are waiting post-excavation analysis on a couple of these areas, but the EPH has come in and that has been successfully remediated, so no further excavation there. When those results come in for the other 4 to 5 areas, if they're clean, then we'll be finished with that. The rest of the park will be continued to receive either lift material that has been excavated from other areas which still has PAH contamination, but they're using it for grade, and then ultimately the entire park will be capped with a filter fabric and 2 feet of clean fill and some topsoil to grow grass. So, and the stockpile soil towards the south end of the park was that PAH contaminated soil that is now being relocated in the large ball field area.
Do we have any questions from the council?
Curious. When you hit 10 feet, did you hit water?
Water was actually hit at about 4 to 5 feet, and due to the nature of the historic fill, a lot of this PAH contamination is similar properties to pavement. We found a large amount of crushed pavement used as fill in this area. That creates a void. Water will find that void and pour it. Is it true groundwater? It's more like a perched level, but at about 9 feet, we hit the riverbed mud. In some areas, that caused water to come up closer towards the river. All the way towards the back of the tennis court, no, it didn't.
Was any of the mastic areas that you smelt or saw, was that in any of the historic, called historic fill or your fill?
That was, it could have been left as historic fill, but then it would be just another contaminant under the deed notice, had we cleaned it down to a certain level. But right now, it's cleaned up beyond unrestricted, so it doesn't have to show on the deed notice.
Any other questions?
Do you consider it on time, the project?
I'm not involved in the construction aspect of it. I don't know what their timetable is. We're there as an environmental oversight, and we work off of their schedule. If they work overtime or Saturdays, we're there.
Now, you've been there every day since any day there's been any kind of work on that field?
We had one Saturday where there was some slight work where we were informed that there might not be work, and there was some small work done. But other than that, no, the dust monitors have been running every day since prior to the project. We did dust monitoring as baseline samples to compare to while they were working, so we've been at it even before the construction started.
As far as soil coming in, anything that's come into that field has been tested?
Thoroughly tested. The New Jersey DEP gives guidelines for not only the parameters that need to be tested, which is basically a blanket for all the contaminants, pesticides, herbicides, metals, volatiles, semi-volatiles. They also give a frequency for the amount of tonnage that's brought in, and we're following that.
At this time, do you have any concerns about practices or procedures or anything that's going on, or any things that we're aware of in the beginning that we should be aware of, or that people should be aware of?
Not at this time. Again, what we're digging up and excavating in a shallow, for the shallow excavation for the drainage pipe has not really brought us any surprises. The one area was the EPH. We didn't have it completely delineated. We did corings in the area. We estimated a 30 by 30 area. It actually ended up being a little bigger, I think 30 by 45. So we took out a little bit more tonnage, but other than that, really no surprises.
Do we have any other questions? You know what, that's, I think I might have mentioned that to you. At the last meeting we had, to the north is Hudson Harbor, and I guess one of the concerned residents there thought that they were relocating soil. And at the end of the day, you said that is possibly true, but it wasn't any of the hot spots, but it's soil that will eventually be captive.
It has PAH contaminants, which is the material that we are ultimately capping, and that will show on the deed notice. So it's relocating like soils to different areas on site. And they're only PAH contaminated.
Oops.
Any other questions? Would you mind sticking around for a while, just in case anybody from the public has a question?
Sure.
Thank you.